Ladies and gentlemen, America has truly fallen. Ladies and gents, America has truly fallen. It could be as attainable to just cater the decision to the American policy holder. Um, it is what it is. None of us were kidding at all when we were speaking about Donald Trump being beholden to a foreign government and just the decision did not wield its way to favor the designated parent country. And that's really the fault with all this. My most cynical fears are very true in regards to America. That the average IQ is bastardizing itself, and the very lowest of IQs is gain access to the information. Basically, what's happened is they sold, I think, from a propaganda, let's brainwash the public. That aspect has benefited. But what happened is there's too much control, there's too much oversight over the whole process. I think the Seahawks deserved it. There's a reason I'm no longer a Cardinals fan. I'm no longer a Cardinals fan because they don't care about the process of winning. They don't care about any of that. So, I'm no longer a Cardinals fan. I'm no longer really a sports fan, with the exception of Juventus Football Club. So, I've made the right decision for myself, and that's what everybody must understand at all costs. The teams don't benefit anybody, and I don't need to be a sports fan. And the Patriots just were not of the right mindset to respond to the pressure, and there's too many held sacks is how I describe it. Uh, this is the biggest of all wins that I can imagine. The country is not in the most righteous of directions. America is not in the right track. There's nothing to celebrate unless Donald Trump is dead and JD Vance does not have directive of American policy. We lack a sense of confidence around the world. You don't trust America like they used to. So I think I'm on the right side of history when I understand that foreign countries can't trust us. And we're letting down the rest of the industrialized world, and they refuse to trust us. And I think That's very bad if we're trying to stop tyrannical government from Russia, trying to say that we have a better say of how governance runs than all of you guys. Um, I feel bad for my mate that he can't celebrate this, but everything is manipulated by the cabal. And if we're not allowed to voice our say, then we have a voice as far as our governance over the remaining spots in the playoffs. Did Tom Brady really know that the Seahawks would win? I mean, it's worthless being a Cardinals fan. It's worthless. He can be inducted into the Hall of Fame if it showed. It's worthless. It's worthless. Um, I have to stop being a sports fan. Of my opinion, I think Argentina can win the back to back, and the Lakers can win the championship. But that's where it stops. That's where it stops. It the buck doesn't stop right there. What what I'm confused about is why can't the NFL script it for the Minnesota Vikings? Um, right there, it just does not make sense at all. I don't care about the Super Bowl, quite frankly. Boston's going to compete for the championship. The Celtics will be in the finals. That's what's most relevant as far as my landscape goes, as far as my opinion goes. Because I know it's not easy Super Bowl to predict, and I know that the confidence is there from the lack of touchdown props and all this BS going on. So doesn't matter. I'm better off not being a Cardinals fan, and ultimately it's about making the right decision, and that's the first step. And we're not going to be on the wrong side. We're not going to be anything of that sort. I don't know why they set up the program to where Jake May's closer to the Lombardi, and that part does not make sense to me whatsoever. I think I'm on the right side of history. That I recognize that being on Donald Trump's side of history is not being on the right side of history. So you can suck a dick because I'm on the right side of history, and I recognize that we do not want to be on the wrong side of history, that we can't repeat history itself. But I know whichever language holders, they're going to try to be on the right side of history. And I know I'm on the right side of history, that I'm not so much worried about the complexion of the next generation of America And I'm worried that America should be of a certain complexion. That's where I come from, that is beneficial to the overall cause. I know I must satisfy my pure duty to stop being a fan of a team. The Cardinals are worthless, and I must abdicate my full duty. I know that they're not going to fully regulate the fact that there's no fans for the LA Lakers. We're speaking about basketball. But I know that I'm becoming wise to my senses that I must realize far as what they want from their agenda standpoint. I recognize that they want to pull me away from that. I was able to keep a cordial, civil manner with some Seahawk fans at a Super Bowl party, and that is a very big positive that I take away from this night. That I recognize that Bidwell is not my friend, that I can ditch him, that I can say no to the reign of riddled corruption. Bidwell is on my side, and Bidwell is forced to say, hey, he's not recognizing us. We have to keep on trying to cater to the average fan. So I I think we're on the right side of the history. But Drake May's a bum, and it is what it is. They make things make sense to where, it is America's 250th anniversary, and I'll acknowledge the Seahawks were far better, and the Cardinals don't mean shit anymore. And I think, as far as who appears to be better, is not really relevant, because my friend is recognizing that I don't benefit from having the cause benefit to my side. So I don't know why they wouldn't have the Patriots win on America's 250th anniversary. I think this is a very viable lesson from that regard, that nothing is automatic, that Messi from the MLS Cup is extremely accurate. And I think from the aspect of the World Cup, I think that's very beneficial. Messi's gonna do the business. This is not a situation where there's too much of beneficial betting for one side. That's not what's happening. I believe in the mystique of the sport, but this is one of these situations where you're gonna have to be dragged, and they're gonna have to just make a play and settle in, and that's how I describe it. Um, Bad play, all that. I think we're in good shape, honestly. Good. Let's continue on. Let's stop the divide. That's what it counts.